Hey guys, Nuie here. Just getting ready to. This is gonna be a full tutorial on Teps guide or Teps Pyramid. My bad. The reason I started here is because this is where you'll pick up the first quest. It's called Key to Madness. That will tell you to go in and kill Bouncer itself. After that, all you're gonna do is just teleport over to Teps Pyramid. I didn't have the actual teleporter bookmark because we've gotten a little bit ahead of this in the game, so I have a few other bookmarks at the moment. But all you're gonna do is teleport over to this portal, and you're just gonna head up here, take this jump pad, and then you'll be right outside of Teps Pyramid. Before I go in, I was taking a moment to look around and check everything out. While we were waiting for a couple of guildies to get ready to come in. But Teps Pyramid itself is broken up into five bosses. No, six bosses. Let's see. Bouncer, Seahall, Nihil, Dragon, Tep. Yeah. So basically six bosses, but technically it's about seven in total. It's probably the smallest raid in Allods, I want to say. Just like, actually no, I can almost guarantee it is the smallest raid, closest to the new raids. Um, it was a pretty difficult raid. I do believe trying it was one of the last 24-man raids, I think I want to say, but it was definitely an entertaining raid. The relic, it still had the relics involved in it, so it still dropped 55 relics, I believe, but now it no longer drops that. All it drops is costumes and mount skins. So when you first come in, the first boss will be right in front of you. He will be Bouncer. He is used to be a multi-tank boss where you would have to tank him facing one side and then wait till he would knock you back, and then the other tank would taunt and then face him taking the other side. And then one tank would you would continue switching between tanks like that. The only other thing to be aware of before was that he would spawn turrets when he got about 50% health that would deal damage. They were killable, so all you would do is just burst them down and then refocus on the boss. But now he's a pretty simple boss. We can just pretty much burst through his DPS. When you first start, understand this is not a bug. This guy in front of him will be talking. I have beaten this raid already. Not on this character, but just in general, so I won't see the cutscene. But there is a cutscene involved with that he talks. But after you kill Bouncer, you'll walk up these stairs, and there will be a NPC right here that you can grab your next two quests, which are Nihil and Seahall, respectively. Nihil is on the left side, and Seahall is on the right side. We're gonna do Nihil first, just because she takes a little bit more. She's a little bit quicker to do, but there's a couple ads in each hallway going towards the boss. The first one is a giant mechanoid. Be aware that he will explode upon death. It shouldn't do that much damage, but it's something to be aware of because it's still a little feature that they've added. This is one right here. Once you kill him, it will tell you like a bomb is detonating. Just move. It'll come up on the screen, so just move away from him, and then it'll explode. After that, there is another group of mobs that will be here waiting for you. The closest ones can be taken out by the melee. The ones in the back need to be taken out by ranged DPS because they still do a poison dot that can kill you. It's a % health decreasing dot, so just avoid those ones if you're melee and just try to have your ranged DPS AoE down. If you're coming here to solo it, you are able to skip past them by mounting and just riding past them, so be aware of that. But this is also, when it comes to soloing, this is a little bit more, this is probably the most difficult boss because you have to be sure to turn these two cannons that are next to her, you have to be sure to turn them off or you will not be able to complete the boss because they put a shield on her that is only breakable by that. So when the boss first starts, she has about two phases for us, but originally she had about 3 or 4. The first phase she does is just when she goes into that shield, you just go over and turn off those two cannons. There will be a Z option underneath them, just like that, and it'll be a red green circle. So you go off of that and then retreat. Everyone goes under this dome to DPS her, and then towards the lower portions of her health, she will start spawning like death circles underneath her, and or not underneath her, but underneath the party. So the brave will need to move to the sides in order to avoid them. But now she's just kind of, you just kind of burst her down and then head out the room. I do believe that little orb will still explode at 10 stacks, so be aware of that. But other than that, there should not be too big of an issue, other than just having two people coordinated to grab the two C options. If you are a summoner, I do believe you can ghostly cover and run over to it, so I think that could be a way to help that. But as you can see, I completed the one quest, and then I'll head over to the other. When we're head over to the other side, there's once again a couple more ads. These ones are just focus. I would say kill the one in the middle first, and then kill the two on the sides. And then there's another group like the one directly in front of Nuie that will basically the back ones can still put that dot on you, and the front ones are just melee DPS. So once again, range DPS try to kill the ones in the back. Melee ones kill the ones in the front. That way you can avoid having to deal with that dot that they have. Once we get in here, Hill has his own. Hill has his couple stranger kind of mechanics. Before, what happens was when you attack him to about 25%, and then he breaks apart into 4 beings himself, which the tanks have to pick up and not do damage to. And then you would just tank the 4 ads in 4 corners, and the tanks would take turns swapping between each other. And then the range DPS, or all the DPS would sit there and focus on that sarcophagus in the middle. Now, you can pretty much ignore the shades because the damage itself will not hit you. But what you're going to do is DPS him down to 25%, and then he's going to break apart again, just like this. And then you're going to focus all your DPS onto the sarcophagus in the middle. And once that is down, a few ads will come in, as you can see. So while this current break part is going on, you are on vulnerable, so the ads will not do damage to you. But once he comes back, you have a couple seconds to DPS him down under his threshold before you have to start collecting sparks from the sarcophagus to continue DPSing him down. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue, and as soon as you do that, you'll just kill him, and then kill the ads, and then you are done with this boss. So you're just gonna head back over to the NPC that you saw before, that gave you 2 quests. You're gonna complete the 2 quests with her, and then she will give you another quest that will tell you to go into the elevator and fight the next boss. So the upcoming boss is a 3-phase boss. Well, yeah, 3-phase boss basically. The first phase, you are fighting ads just around you. They do put a stun on whoever has the most aggro. So if you have a healer in the party, be sure to purify that. If you have a bard in the party, Sonata should take it off. But just be aware of that. It's about 10 seconds long, and it stun locks you completely. I think you can also purify yourself out of it, but I know if you're trying to solo run this, that it can be a little bit annoying, considering it's just a full out stun mark. But what you're gonna do after getting the quest from her, you're just gonna come over here and hop on this elevator, and as you can see, people are going before me. It takes you up to a bubble. It'll say activate the lift, so you'll go up into this bubble, and you will head down into the elevator shaft itself. Once you get to the bottom, the fight will not start until you touch the device in the middle. It's basically the little spire in the very center, underneath this green thing right here. But so be sure to let everyone in your party come down and be down here with you before you actually touch that, because if you start without them, it can bug people's quests and it can make this whole mess a little bit sloppier than it has to be. So, as I said before, the first phase of this boss just spawns the 4 ads around you. They do stun lock, but you can kill them very, very quickly now. So as soon as those are dead, you end up having to wait a little bit because this is a timed portion of the raid where this was a DPS check almost, where you had to be sure to be able to DPS those ads down in time before Golgoroth actually spawned. So unfortunately, there's no way to speed this kind of thing up, but I'll help you out with a little bit of the extra features. When Golgoroth comes down, he's currently flying around us. That dragon is him. I was trying to spot him, but yeah. You can keep an eye on him, but he's always going to show up next to that red pole that I showed you right here. So just press T and turn on the highlighter, or click the little lamp in the above your quest, and be sure to figure out which of the poles itself it is. Because when he comes in, you need to stick closer to the right side of him because he does an acid spray across the room, which is your DPS timer to do damage to him. If we're doing this as the actuality of it, when he comes in the room, you have that time until he sprays across the entirety of the room to DPS him. So we won't really have a problem with it, but you'll see the acid spray and stuff that will come out of his mouth, and you'll see how it works. After that phase happens, there will be a couple more ads that will spawn. So then once you kill them, he will come back to the room, once again next to this support beam, and instead of DPSing him, there's going to be two more ads to spawn, and then you're going to DPS the 2 ads down, and then you're going to break this actual pole, and then it'll collapse on top of him, and that will end the boss fight. This is the first boss that offers a chest in here, as well as mount skins. So, from what I know, from what I have, I should say, the mount skins that I currently have are for the bird, for the hurricane, for the titan, for I believe there is a spider one, but I'm not entirely sure. I know there is a griffin one. I know there is a horse one, and I know there is a I want to say raptor one, but I don't think it's the name of it. But it's basically the dinosaur one. I know there's that. But as I said, after you kill those ads, there's still gonna be 2 more that spawn. But I always position myself off to the right side because 1, the ads are gonna spawn over here. 2, it's the easiest way to avoid Golgoroth's dragon breath when he comes down. Because if you're accidentally standing on the left side, it is a one-shot hit for that acid spray. No matter what, it's always gonna one-shot you if you get hit in it. So I just always position myself over here, avoid the even possibility of that happening. Again, this is just kind of a portion that you have to just kind of allow, because this is a timed portion again, where you have a specific period of time in which you need to DPS the boss down. So you just kind of have to wait a little bit, follow Golgoroth around. He eventually will land. I don't know the exact time limit, but I think it's around 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes that you have to do this. So it used to be a pretty. I think it actually reduced the time within these couple patches, but I believe it doesn't take that long. But your DPS should be pretty high at this level, so you shouldn't really have to worry about having that time limit. As you guys could see, I only am doing this in greens. Like, I'm not doing this in like a year or anything. This is literally my new character. I just leveled up, hit 75, and then came right in here with the basic green gear that you get from the QuestLine. So it's not anything too demanding. It's not anything too challenging as it is, because it is, once again, still pretty low level content. But as I said, the 2 ads will spawn, and then you'll just kill this pillar right here, and then the boss is dead. You're gonna come over here, talk to this NPC, avoid the pillar in the middle, but talk to this NPC, grab your last quest, which will be to kill Tep, and then you can loot the chest. That box right there will give you the costumes in here, which I would be doing a video for as well. But as soon as everyone in your party is looted, everybody's talked to the quest giver and gotten what they need, then you can touch that pole in the middle, and that will start the next boss fight, which will send you to Teps room. Before that, though, I would tell you not to touch it at all. Make sure that everybody's away from it. Make sure everybody's completed their quest, because coming back in here can be pretty much a headache. But I think we were just waiting to see if we were trying to get the mount skin out to everybody. But we're pretty much ready to go. But yeah, once you touch that portal, this chest will probably disappear still. So, I mean, unless you die very, very quickly, you really don't have any option to get back in here and get that chest again. So, be sure everybody's looted from it. So, once you touch that portal, you get sent down to Teps room. It's this great altar to himself, basically. The dude is super vain. This is a 3-phase boss as well. The first phase will be to kill his body. He will break himself into 2 parts. One will be his body that is floating around the room, and one will be his actual self. The way this used to have to be tanked is that one tank would grab Teps himself, and then the other tanks would, as you attack his body, as you break it down into each portion of its health, so each 25%, a new ad will spawn off of him. The ads, while they are inside the purple range that is around the body, will get a huge damage and health increase. So it would be the tank's job to pull him out of that, or pull those ads out of that circle, and then they could be DPS down, and then you would go back to DPSing the body itself. Be aware this portion, because your DPS is so high now, can be a little bit tricky, because if you kill Tep itself, which is the main body, without killing this body, you won't be able to complete the quest. If you kill this part too slow, or yeah, not my bad. You can actually completely ignore these ads themselves, but we kill them because our AoE DPS is just high. But once that body is down, everyone needs to be aware that that pool will periodically pull people into it, and this pool will spread around the room if people continue to come out of it. There is a 10-second buff on you when you're pulled into it. You need to wait until you have 2 seconds left on that buff, and then run out of the pool. And then you will place another pool directly under you, and then you can move out of that as well. But the pool that you place after you run out will not put the buff back on you. So you have to be very specific about the time to it. If you cannot specifically time it that way, then it's better to just stand in the pool and wait until this phase, because the pools will be cleansed after. This is the final portion of the boss fight where his spark itself just comes back and you just kill that. And there you go, you completed Teps. There's a second chest and a second costume, or second mount skin chance here, so be sure to grab that. And then you will talk again to this NPC, and she has quite a bit of storyline for you to read through. That will send you back to Yasgur's Tower, and there's a book in the library. You can auto move to it now, so don't be too worried about that. As soon as you leave Teps Pyramid, you can auto move to it. But you're just gonna complete your quest and snap a picture next to Teps' now dead body. You have to just complete your quest. He's gonna give you another quest. You just scroll through the dialogue, and then you talk to him and scroll through that dialogue, because he has quite a bit, and that will complete that quest. And then he will tell you another quest, and that will be the quest to go back to Yasgur's Tower and pick up the book. So there's a portal in the back, so don't try to, you don't have to TP out, but there's a portal right in the back side of Teps that takes you right back to the front. But and then the book is just in the first floor of the tower, so once again you can auto move to it. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this